So today we are checking out a custom designed Pokemon themed Game Boy Color. Released in 1998, the Nintendo Game Boy Color was the first real successor to the already popular Game Boy. The version I'm going to show you has been custom painted by a friend of mine. There's a link in the description if you want to check them out. Now before I show you the Game Boy itself, I've also brought along a selection of 3 games. First is Pokemon Blue, which didn't enter the European markets officially until 1999, having come out in Japan 3 years prior as Pocket Monsters Blue. The games were well received, having mostly positive reviews from critics, and at the time they were deemed to be very innovative for the gaming industry. Over 31 million copies were sold worldwide, making the games cherished by players. Pokemon Crystal. The game released to Europe in 2001 as an enhanced version of Pokemon Gold and Silver, and it's the final game of the second generation of Pokemon games. Although enhanced, this was not a rehash of the older games. Instead, it included several new features, such as allowing players to choose the sex of their character at the start of the game. When entering battle, Pokemon had animated sprites. Finally, further subplots were later added, although setting and story remained largely the same as Pokemon Gold and Silver. Pokemon Crystal was well received, although some indications suggest some people didn't like the new additions and didn't think they were enough to set it apart from Pokemon Gold and Silver. Okay, last but not least we have a very special game. The Japanese version of Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition. It was first released in Japan in 1998, in Australia and North America in 1999, and then finally in Europe in the year 2000. Pokemon Yellow's release was made to coincide with the release of Pokemon the first movie. Much like Pokemon Crystal, it was an enhanced version of the Pokemon Red and Blue versions, taking place in the Kanto region. Again, well received by critics, it was the 3rd best-selling video game in Japan in 1998. Pokemon Yellow received 2 nominations for Game of the Year and Console Game of the Year during the 3rd annual AIAS Interactive Achievement Awards, now known as the DICE Awards. I love these not only for the nostalgia, but also because they are great games, and at the time the innovation in game making cemented them as iconic, memorable landmarks and achievements. My favourite is Pokemon Crystal due to the fact I always enjoyed choosing Totodile as my starter Pokemon. However, the other 2 do have a place in my heart. I decided on a Pokemon theme as it's pretty synonymous with Game Boy at this point. If you take any satisfaction from this video, a like would really help towards growing the channel. Subscribing would also allow you to see more of these types of videos. Now for the actual Game Boy itself. Here it is. As I showcase the unit, you'll be able to distinguish the dark purple design scheme as opposed to the stock semi-transparency of the original unit. The artist decided that in order to allow maximum painting effectiveness, a near transparent stock unit would be best to work on. The main centrepiece for the front of the console is the Pokemon Gengar, which just so happens to be my favourite Pokemon. You can see a lot of detail went into the design, and we spent a lot of time deciding how best to use the workspace available. On the back of the unit we have the Pokemon Abra. Again, a lot of time was dedicated to making sure we best utilised the space available, as we wanted both Pokemon in the midst of using their dedicated movesets. I'm really impressed with the amount of effort the artist put into these designs. Again, the quality of the paintwork on display here is excellent. I've had this unit for over 3 years now and it has very little to no wear. Furthermore, as we look inside the battery compartment, you can see the original colour of the stock unit we bought. So let's do a quick test and watch the intro animation for one of the games. Unfortunately, I can't play audio for copyright reasons. we'll use the Japanese version of Pokemon Yellow. Hopefully, that's allowed you to see why I think this unit deserves to be shown off to the community. Tireless amounts of effort went into this over the course of many weeks, and I think it really shows in the outcome. As always, there's links in the description for sources and the artist. Thank you for checking out this video. If you'd like to see more videos from me, a like and a subscribe would be amazing. It really would help the channel out, pushing this video through the algorithm, also allowing me to post more regularly with better quality content. Until then, see you next time.